Masochistic Norwegians. What's wrong with us, really? We live here, completely voluntarily, for the most part. It's cold all year round. Sure, there are a few good days, but they're the exception, not the rule. It's not just cold, it's dark and wet. The rain keeps coming, usually in the form of snow. We know it's summer when the rain gets slightly warmer. And yet, we stay here, in what is supposedly the richest country in the world. That's nonsense. The truth is, we live in the most expensive country in the world. Even the things we produce ourselves, like oil and electricity, cost more here than in the countries we sell them to. We don't understand it, we don't like it, but we pay anyway. And on top of it all, we voluntarily elect the same politicians over and over again. We don't expect improvements, only disappointments, and punishment in the form of an even more expensive everyday life. So something must be wrong. A happy Norwegian today, that's a Norwegian with lifelong debt. A Norwegian without the chance to take on debt, defined as poor. Norwegian happiness in a nutshell. But the wages are good, right? Sure, but we Norwegians are happy to work for free. Yes, it's true, we're proud when we can go the extra mile. We live under the illusion that someone cares about our work ethic, even though we know we could all be replaced in under 24 hours. Sometimes we get paid for overtime, well paid, even. Naturally, those extra earnings disappear into countless taxes and fees, if there's anything left after income tax. But hey, it's a sign of good work ethic, and at least we're contributing to the collective good. Ah yes, taxes, at least a third of your salary. Once a year, we might get some of that money back. And then there's great celebration over the crumbs of our own money, as if it were a gift from the state. But hey, we get time off now and then too. And what does a good Norwegian do when they're off work? They pretend to be poor. Let me explain. It's Friday, the weekend, and the rain is lukewarm enough to be called summer. That's when we head into the woods. We sleep in tents, on sleeping pads that are way too thin, in sleeping bags that cost way too much. But before we settle into discomfort, we of course have to suffer a bit first. Running and cycling are popular, as long as there isn't too much snow. In winter, it's skiing, as long as the trails are long and the slopes steep enough. Unless there's a long-lasting high-pressure system, and the sun can be seen between the snow-covered mountains. Then we go abroad. To replace that's way too hot, staying in the cheapest hostel, so we don't miss out on any hardship. But let's not forget the cabin people, the ones who spend their entire vacation building a new terrace or re-roofing their cabin, without understanding why they're so exhausted after that time off. It's often near these cabins that you'll find the most extreme masochistic Norwegians. The ones who swim outside all year round, because nothing says cozy like hypothermia and blue lips. Life is a journey, is supposedly a saying. It's clearly not Norwegian. Here, it's not the quality of the journey we're proud of, but the traffic jams. We love queues, and there are queues everywhere. At the store, at nightclubs, in traffic, even on the mountains. So here we live, complaining, whining, and suffering. But we refuse to move, because who would complain then? The suffering is almost as important as documenting it all. Everything must be shared on social media, so the rest of the Masochist Club can follow along. After all, we do enjoy watching others suffer too.